we're seeing travel moments show up in many different ways. I would say that travel is the biggest form of intent that we see across the board on Yahoo. There's many stages in a traveler's journey, from the time that they are seeking inspiration for trip ideas to the time that they're searching for a place to go and where to stay, etc. And then finally, when they're at the destination, right, there's that part of the journey. And we're seeing our audiences show up across the board. Ultimately, what we see on Yahoo from a search perspective is that there's a finite window of time. Travelers are actually going from that inspiration to that planning moment, which is really interesting. I think that window of time has condensed over the years. For example, like summer travel, we see that most of the searches for summer travel are happening in the May-June timeframe, where the actual trip is happening in July. And with that condensed timeframe, it becomes like that much more important for marketers to be able to reach the consumer at specific points in the journey in a very like personalized way.
Emily, I wanted to get into those high intent travel moments that you're able to focus on, and wanted to get a sense of how Yahoo helps brands identify and activate against those high intent travel moments, particularly in real time.
So at Yahoo, we have a wealth of first-party data. We also have access to real-time signals. We also have a very strong identity graph that we use in combination in order to reach high-intent travelers. We have the ability on our platforms and through the Yahoo DSP to create customized audiences for our advertisers to be able to target their users wherever they are in the journey. We also enable partnerships with strategic partners like Kinective Media to be able to reach like luxury buyers and luxury segments through their travel data, and being able to find people who are frequent travelers or people who go on beach vacations, that sort of thing, and are able to kind of combine those signals together to reach travelers.
So Emily, Yahoo sits at the intersection of media as well as those partnerships you mentioned. How are you bringing travel signals into broader omnichannel strategies for clients, given that positioning you have?
So ultimately, we are looking at it from the perspective of a user is looking at their mobile device, right? And they're maybe searching for a trip on their mobile device. We know that they're also watching TV. We also know that they're walking on the street and they're seeing out-of-home media. And we feel that it's important to reach those users wherever they are by enabling our identity graph. And we have our Yahoo Connect ID, which is our proprietary identifier based off of our deterministic authenticated data. And ultimately, that's an omni-channel signal that we're able to reach a user at any point in their journey on any channel, and can then identify and serve them relevant ads. And so we work really closely with our advertisers to ensure that we are creating a seamless point of activation and a seamless journey for the consumer, so that they don't necessarily feel the advertising, and it's more like gets them what they need in the moment.
That idea of seamlessness also reflects the need to be, personalized in how the ads are targeted. I think of the mindset of a traveler. It could be a business traveler, it could be a leisure traveler, it could be both. The personalization can even reflect a single person at different moments. Mm-hmm. So with that in mind, what role does personalization play in capturing travelers in those high intent moments?
Personalization is really important because you need to be able to see an ad that actually is relevant to you as an individual. I think ultimately what we are seeing is we're using signals to, again, go back to that journey, right? Like, so if I'm searching for a vacation destination, I'm going to be more apt to convert on an ad that's showing me places that are more relevant to my search, right? Whereas if I am on the vacation and I'm still seeing ads for other locations to go to, that's not quite as relevant. And so it's very important that advertisers are using those like real-time signals to be able to optimize and meet the travelers where they're at in that journey.